Okay, so here we are in our bathroom, fantastic bathroom. We're going to build a sampler, a depth sampler for your sea perch ROV. And so I'm going to go over kind of the functions, I'm going to go over all the parts we got here, all these wonderful things that come together to make an ROV sampler, and then we're going to show you how it works. So to look at the parts you'll need to make a sampler, the most important part is a submersible solenoid valve, which you can get from, I got this one from McMaster-Carr. You can get it from any number of websites, but make sure it's submersible, and so it'll come pre-sealed, and that it has 2 leads. Also, we got, kind of tangled up here, but 12 feet of 16 gauge wire, and you're going to need some wire clippers to go with that to kind of strip the ends of the wire. And some things have already been done here, but I'll show you anyway. Come down the other end. On both wires, the connection between the solenoid valve and the wire, we used silicone gel to seal and waterproof the connections, and also some heat shrink wrap sleeves, which were slid over, and you can see them here. We used a heat gun to shrink the shrink wrap to the cables and to the wires here. And Nugget is trying to star in our film. And also on the end of these 16 gauge wires, we have 2 of our 4 alligator clips. You're going to need 4 total. I got different colors to kind of distinguish between negative and positive, black being positive and red being negative. And then we used some stretch and seal silicone tape, which is a really good tape for waterproofing, and we use that to attach and kind of seal the end of these alligator clips to the 16 gauge wire. And you can get that at Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere like that. So the sampler body we have here, and these steps are already done, but I'll tell you how to do it and what you need. You need a 1/8 NPT, which stands for National Pipe Thread, barbed fitting here, and plastic tubing, which will connect your solenoid valve to your sampler body, or your sample bottle here. This is just a 1-ounce plastic bottle. You can find them almost anywhere. And so we insert the plastic tube into the barbed fitting, and then in the sample bottle, we took our hand drill here and a 1/4-inch bit and drilled a hole in the center of the lid. And then we sealed the bottle with some silicone tape to make sure there's no contamination intrusion. And you might have to shave off any burrs you get around the edge of your 1/4-inch hole on the top so that your plastic hose will fit in the top, and then you can seal it with the tape. We also have, the Sea Perch comes with a 12-volt battery, but we're using a 9-volt battery, which is sufficient for our example here. We have a battery connector that connects the battery to our other 2 alligator cables, which will then connect to a toggle switch with an on and off, which just works to turn the Sea Perch on and off. So I'm just going to put it together real fast. I said some of the steps have already been done. After you have your wires and your first gator clips connected and sealed, you're going to want to take your barbed fitting and screw it into the bottom of the solenoid valve, which is also threaded. Make sure it's nice and tight. And we have our frame here. It's kind of a substitute for the back of the Sea Perch. You got your crossbar, and this will be the rear end of your Sea Perch. And we're going to attach the solenoid valve to the Sea Perch using the silicone tape. And it's important when using this tape. It's not sticky, but it kind of adheres to itself, and so you can, and it stretches. It's pretty flexible, so you can stretch it and pull it pretty tight, which gives a pretty good watertight seal. So you're just going to want to attach it pretty much anywhere you want to here along the crossbar on the Sea Perch frame. Like I said, you can pull it pretty tight, and then you want it to kind of cover itself because that's how you get it to stick. Pull it pretty tight, and then we'll just sit right on there. Kind of position it however you want, on top or bottom. And then you want to make sure with your sample bottle that the entire tubing, you can even make it shorter if you want, but that it has a downward slope so that gravity will allow the water to flow through the solenoid valve when it's open and into your sample bottle. So we're just going to attach the sample bottle. Like I said, it is 1 ounce. You want to make sure it's kind of small so that it doesn't become too buoyant when it's empty or too heavy when it's full. It's around, anywhere around 1 ounce. Just keep it pretty small. Is sufficient to get a good sample and pretty good. And we're going to take the silicone tape and seal it again. Or attach it again, sorry. So finally, we're going to attach our toggle switch, take our battery connector, and connect it to the top of our 9-volt battery. And attach our alligator clips. Make sure to connect red to red, black to black. Here. Black being positive, red being negative. And we're going to attach that to the leads on our toggle switch here, single pull, single throw. And then we're going to take the alligator clips that we already sealed and attach them as well. Right. So now our sampler is fully assembled, and like I said, operation, you can hear that click. When I turn the switch on, current flows from the battery through the toggle switch when it's on, and then through the 16-gauge wire and into the solenoid valve. In the solenoid valve, there's a coil that kind of looks like a spring, and when current goes through those coils and charges them, a magnetic field forms inside the coils. And there's an armature shaft which is down, which keeps the solenoid valve closed, and when the coils are charged, it creates an electromagnet, and the magnetism sucks that armature up into the body of the solenoid, which leaves a hole for water to flow into the sample body. It's time to show you how our Sea Perch ROV sampler, now fully assembled, works, and we're going to drop it in, show you how it takes a little sample. Sitting in there, turn it on. You can see the air releasing. You want to fill it pretty full. You want to wait until you don't see any more bubbles, and that'll give you a good sign that your sample bottle is pretty full. So we got no more bubbles. And then turn it off and bring it to the surface. You can check out our sample bottle. You see, got ourselves a pretty good sample.